All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. We get ready for an exciting sports betting day on Monday. Holiday here with King Day. Should be awesome to have a day, just like playing Sunday all over again. We'll have daytime action and college basketball, pro basketball, and NHL hockey. And we'll wrap it up with the big football game tonight in the college football national championship. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves. We get those previews here started in just a moment. Take a look at some of those big games tomorrow. Should be great to have daytime sports on a Monday. Have a happy holiday, everybody, on King Day here as we have a great show planned for you here. We'll see the chat room as well filling up, and we'll also preview what's going on over at Tony'sPicks.com. I'm flying solo here tonight, but I know DeAndre had a big night on Sunday. I had a winner as well. I had a winner yesterday with the New England Patriots right here on the site. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at the handicapper leaderboards to see who's hot here from the action on Sunday. We definitely had some cappers rolling here a little bit with the games on Sunday. Take a look at the handicapper leaderboards here. Rod with a big day there, 6 wins. Also Stephen Duncan smashing this hockey so far in 2026. Ron Hahn 2-0. There's DeAndre 3-0. The 3-1. We'll take a look and see what DeAndre had. Justin was his only play. I had my winner there yesterday, and the rest of the gang. Man, a lot of winners here on Sunday over at Tony'sPicks.com. You could use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off those premium pick packages, including mine over there on Monday. I'll be ready to roll here in some of the action. And let's see. I want to see DeAndre brought us some winners yesterday on the show there, as well as DeAndre gave us the Chicago Bears. Hey, I had Patriots, or I didn't have them on the show there anyway, but the Chicago Bears, I did have the under in the late game here on the show yesterday. But let's see what DeAndre was doing. He's got his Monday moneymaker up there and his plays there. But let's see what those winners were yesterday's. He had the Memphis Grizzlies. We talked about it there at the NBA game in London. Hey, Orlando won the game in Germany. Memphis won the game there in London. They were having a good time kind of running it up there on Orlando. And there it is. He had the Bears there yesterday as his premium winner. Plus the points. Got it home. 3.5 there yesterday. What a game, man. Let's talk about it, too. Also, DeAndre with the Portland Trailblazers there late night in their game against the Sacramento Kings. Good call there on that one. I thought the Kings at home maybe would keep that winning streak going, but Portland proved to be the best there in that one. Head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Click on the All Cappers tab. That's how you'll find the handicappers. Click on the handicapper of your choice there and get signed up. There you see I am right there with some winners here. So far, so good in the NFL. I'm 12-7. NBA, I'm 5-1 so far this month, and up a couple units here, and had the winner there yesterday. Let's see what's going on. There it is. I had the Patriots there laying the points. Said Houston's having nearly a tough time scoring to stay close here. So I had the Patriots to rock in that one and win by double digits, I said there in the preview there. So Houston, I talked about the thin receiving core for Houston. And, man, what a rough night there for my man C.J. Stroud. Hopefully he'll learn from that one with those picks. But there was a lot of pressure coming in on him, that's for sure, there in the big games. So we'll get to the previews here in just a moment. Let me talk a little bit more football with you guys and let a few more people roll in here for the live broadcast of the show. And I want to say hello to the folks joining me in the chat. It's me and Mr. Westers here tonight. All right. Here we go. Just talk a little bit about some of the big games there yesterday in the action there with the late night game, man. Rams over the Bears. They drove 53 yards there at the end of the game, and the thicker kicker, Meebus, kicked a 42-yarder with ease there. Bears with the most incredible touchdown you're ever going to want to see there with 18 seconds left on that. Hail Mary, I guess it really ended up being as Caleb Williams, man. He backed up like he was in trouble. He was, and got it off there. And what a catch in the end zone by Komet, swinging for the fences there at the end of his catch. Bears were 9 of 19 on third down. LA just 5 of 16. And, Chicago at least ran the ball, 160 yards. The turnovers hurt. The Rams refused to run despite their success on the ground pretty much every time. They preferred to go to the air, and it really cost them in the end. They really couldn't get anything going offensively. They were just slightly better than the Bears, however, and got the win. They'll advance to the NFC Championship game, where they are pretty big, underdog here, considering they're playing the Seahawks here in Seattle, 2.5. 47. I say big underdog, but just the fact that these two teams have that rivalry right now, and one team holds over on the other. So that'll be the late game next week. And the Rams, they look good on those long drives, certainly when they were able to extend the plays and run the ball a little bit. But then part of the middle of the game, they just refused to do so. But all right, they win. They advance. Also, Patriots in that early win over Texas. Houston turned the ball over 4 times in the first 8 drives. Patriots scored on a pick 6 in there to take a 14-10 lead. The Texans have never won in the division round, 0-7. So the Patriots will move on to the AFC title game, where they will be a 5.5-point favorite right now. A few 6s out there when they go on to play at Denver next week. Now, Denver will be on a backup quarterback because of the loss of Bo Nix. They'll go with Jared Stidham in the postseason. I see the folks out there, let's go get Tom Brady. I don't think the owner, a part owner of the Raiders, is going to come in and quarterback the Denver Broncos in the next round. But Texans ran the ball 22 times, but only gained 48 yards in the game, and they had just 1 TD, and that they needed a 27-yard field to do so. May threw for 3 touchdowns. It was snowy, it was sleet, it was that wintry mix I talked about, and the Texans, for Stroud, just 20 of 47 with 4 INTs in the game. So we got our matchups ready for next week. It should be a great Sunday, of course, on Championship Sunday. All right, there was some other action there in the colleges on Sunday with some good games, man. Florida Atlantic over Temple. Here we previewed some of those games here on the show yesterday. Wichita State outlasted South Florida in overtime. Houston dumped Arizona State big time, led 56-29 at halftime. San Francisco edged Washington State 85-80. They overcome a 7-point deficit in the final 6 minutes, and North Texas was able to knock off Tulane 71-63. Some of the action in the colleges. And we brought home some winners here on Night Moves with DeAndre yesterday. I had the winners yesterday. Pelicans and Rockets game to go under. We brought it home there. Also, I had the winner there last night in the game with Pelicans and Rockets game to go under as well. I think that was the winner yesterday here on the show. Oh, I know what it was. Hornets and Nuggets. Hornets and Nuggets game to go under there yesterday. Also had the winner yesterday here on Night Moves with Tampa Bay and Dallas to go under. All right. I think we can get started here right now. Got a couple dozen of you here joining me live. I'm here in Las Vegas, and this is Night Moves on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. All right. Going to kick it off with the big game here on Monday night. We'll preview the daytime action here in just a moment. We're going to start with the national championship game from the Hard Rock Stadium. Will be known as Bloomington South on Monday night, with the Indiana Hoosiers taking on the Miami, Florida Hurricanes. And it's going to be pretty much a sea of crimson in Hard Rock Stadium, believe it or not. Despite this game being played on the home field of the Miami Hurricanes, it's going to be, look, Miami will have their representation there, and, it's a fair ticket, right? It's not all about, hey, who just scoop these tickets up at home. Miami, hey, they don't really, funny is the success that the program has had throughout the decades, they aren't really a team that sells out a lot of games necessarily. And this game will be, man, it's going to feel like almost a home game for the Indiana Hoosiers tomorrow at Hard Rock Stadium. Miami will have their fans, but watch out here. Don't think it is a home field advantage necessarily. Yeah, there'll be some, maybe the familiarity of the facilities or the field might be a little bit in Miami's favor, or at least help them a little bit. But, man, this feels like it's going to be a big crowd here for the Indiana Hoosiers, believe it or not, at the national championship game tomorrow night, for better or worse. But that's going to be part of this, I think, part of the story here actually on Monday as we get ready for the big game at the national championship. The Hoosiers, of course, led by Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza, and not to mention a sledgehammer of a defense. The Canes, of course, led by Carson Beck. They've got a fierce pass rush, and they've got my man Keontae Scott, who I'm so happy and proud to have interviewed a couple of times in the past. And see him in this national championship game as one of the best defensive players right now, probably in the country, or at least defensive backs, best defensive backs in the country. We saw some of the interviews over the weekend with Coach Signetti, or I should say Coach Signatti. He said, no, I really have no interest in ever coaching in the NFL. He believes he's got the best job in the world right now, taking the Indiana Hoosiers to places where they've never gone before. Even when they said, hey, what about moving on to a different organization? Could that possibly happen? No. Why would you leave you're in the national championship. Why would you go to try to bring some other team to the national championship, is kind of the way Coach put it. So let's go over some of the ins and outs of the game tomorrow. The Hoosiers have only 3 of their wins come by less than 10 points here. They're a 7.5 point favorite. Let me bring up the graphic here. Oh, we got it up there. 7.5 point favorite. The total here, 47.5. This is the college football national championship game, right? 47.5. That spells doom, in my opinion, for the Miami Hurricanes. I think they will do a little better and contribute to the scoring. Now, I know 7.5. I mean, it's easy to kind of figure it out there. Really, 28-21, just somewhere right in there, 27-20, something like that in the game tomorrow. If you just kind of look at it from a macro level here, but man, the Hoosiers have been kind of a team of destiny. It feels like they've really, mashed some of the teams here. Miami's been great. Miami's had an incredible season, and we think of Miami and their way of doing things in the past, and they've had that certain image, if you want to look at it that way. But man, they've really done it with great talent this year, especially had a couple losses there to start the season. For Mendoza, he started 19 games at Cal before going to Indiana to kind of get this Hoosier team going. But this is his backyard. This is a big moment for Mendoza, the junior quarterback from Miami. But look, he's heading to the NFL after this. We know that. For Miami, for Indiana, they've outscored their last 5 opponents, and this includes the playoff games, 194-45. That's how strong this team has been. They've got a veteran team. They were practically returned the entire offense other than the quarterback and one other position or two, and also good defense that really has been unheralded. Indiana just 7-5 against the spread as a favorite this year. They continue to build momentum, and got a lot of attention certainly from bettors here. The Hoosiers 5-1 against the spread in team games, however, with a single digit. They've really been a takeaway defense under Cincinnati in his tenure here in 2 years. Plus 21 in turnovers this season, plus 15 in turnovers last season. That's been a big part of the Hoosiers and their resurgence. Remember, it wasn't just this year. They were starting to move up the ranks last year as well. So they won their 3 playoff games here, obviously, in pretty convincing fashion. 56-22, of course, 38-3, and 13-10. So Hoosiers are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 non-conference games. Big Ten favorites haven't been that great this season in non-conference play, just 500. Hoosiers have gone under in 3 of their last 5 games for Miami. They've won 7 straight games, and in those games allowing just 12 points per game. They won their playoff games 10-3, 24-14, and 31-27. They're plus 11 in turnovers this season, and they also were clutch in games with a single-digit spread, 7-1 ATS. They brought a pretty veteran team back themselves, including most of their defense. My man Keontae Scott was an addition this year as one of 3 starters to not start for the team last year. Of course, Carson Beck, he's been a part of winning programs, of course, with the Georgia Bulldogs, and he took this opportunity to come to Miami to put him in position here, leaving another championship contender. So good move by Beck. He ends up looking like he made the right move there. Now, Miami was an underdog this year 3 times and covered the spread in each of those games. Cristobal 7-5 against the spread as an underdog, and 34-31 in his career, but it's mostly this year here. So favorites have covered the spread in the last 6 national championship games. And man, Indiana here. Let's get your picks also in the chat. See what you have at the college football national championship game here on Monday night at Hard Rock Stadium. I want to hear from you in the chat. And I'll make my pick, but maybe what's going on. Want to say hello to Cal Dog also in the chat. Looks like just the 3 of us here tonight. Oh, and Andre's here as well. So just a few of us here tonight on a holiday night. Nobody's staying up late with me here, flying solo on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 50,000 subscriber juggernaut. All right, here we go for the game. There it is, Cal Dog. He likes the Indiana Hoosiers, and he likes the over. And let's see. That might be it from the chat. And yeah. And look, let me bring that up here. Yeah, there we go. And our sister channel, of course, over there with the Pick Dogs, we're thinking of Mr. Wilson here. He would have, you think about it, it's only been a little more than 13 or 14 months since passing Mr. Wilson, and this was his team, so he'll be watching for sure at the national championship game. All right. Jerry's got a futures bet with the Hoosiers here at 10-1. Go get it, Jerry. I imagine Jerry's not going to be selling off even with the underdog there to hedge that play. We're just going to probably let it ride there with that one tonight. All right. I guess that's it from you guys. I've got Indiana for sure to roll in this game. 47.5. Indiana might score 47.5. Well, I don't know how they'll get half a point, but I like Indiana's chances here to rock the Hard Rock Stadium. Hello to Personal Account in the chat as well. So, yeah, I'm going with the Indiana Hoosiers in this game. I think again, I said it before, and I've rolled with this team a few times here so far uh, with premiums over at Tony's, taking this Indiana team in the postseason here. I think they are a team of destiny, if you will. And I think they'll rock here in this game against the Miami Hurricanes. And whether or not Miami is the best or the second best team in the country, that I'm not sure of, but I do think that the Indiana Hoosiers are by far and away the best team in the country. Miami did go 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games. Miami also went under in 8 of their last 12 here. They're 13-2 overall. Miami just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 matchups against Big Ten opponents. Indiana has covered 4 of their last 5. They didn't cover against Wisconsin, but then rolled the rest of the way. Same thing with Miami. They've covered 4 straight here. Indiana's gone over in 6 of their last 9. Now, Indiana is 3-9 straight up in their last 12 games against ACC competition, but let's face it, many of those games came well before the new era in Indiana football here. So, all right, and Miami's been partying too much, says Jerry. All right. I guess that's it from you guys in the national championship game. I do want to take a look at a few players here for the game, since it's such a big game. We don't do too much college football. Taking a peek at some of the players and maybe what players might be live in the prop markets from my perspective tomorrow in this game. But I think for me, most of it has to be on the Indiana side. But these defenses are so good. Like I said, I imagine that the under might be the popular play here, but national championship games have been big time overs. The games just get so extended here. The colleges have a little bit. They've tweaked their rules. It's not so much that stopping of the clock anymore here. But I just think for Indiana, their personnel here with Becker and also with Surratt. Surratt really looking like one of the top guys in the country right now. Receiving, of course, he'll probably be able to find the end zone once, if not twice. And a great back in Hemby as well. For Miami, we'll see. They're not coming in necessarily beat up here, but they do have the slightly longer injury list, if you want to call it that. Here coming into the game, Miami a little bit cleaner bill of health here, if you will. All right, let's see here. Personal account says Miami on the spread and over, but he would only take the money line here with IU in this one. Look, it's not like maybe Indiana you think inexperienced, but Miami also. I mean, these two teams are kind of this rendition of these teams, especially for Miami, a team that's tasted success before, not in the postseason so much as with the big bowls. We know how the way it's evolved in college football nowadays, a lot different, especially when you're getting paid. All right, that's going to do it. You guys have got your picks in there in the national championship, and I'm on the Hoosiers over Miami on Monday night. All right, we're going to take a look here. We've got a busy day in sports action here for sure with our NBA and NHL card here. Like I said, the college basketball card, a lot of mid-majors. There's a couple of big games, but mostly a Monday card here. But let's get to NBA and take a look at what we have here. Several day games here and mid-afternoon tilts. Let's go to it. And let's speak it into existence here on the Night Moves show here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. And we're going to start off here with Eastern Conference action at 2 Eastern, 10 Pacific, with the Milwaukee Bucks on the road taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Both teams come in riding three-game losing streaks here. Right now, the Bucks with losses to Denver, Minnesota, and San Antonio. Hey, pretty tough schedule. They've been playing a tough schedule here of late. For Atlanta, meanwhile, they too have lost to a couple of decent opponents. Lost to the Lakers, lost to Portland, and lost to Boston here as part of that three-game losing streak. Atlanta has not been a great favorite this year. In fact, just 7-13 against the spread as a favorite, 7-12 against the spread at home. Many of those games were at home as favorites here. Atlanta's not getting caught as a road favorite too much here, but for Milwaukee in this one, they've lost 4 of their last 5 coming in, gone 1-4 against the spread as well in their last 5 games. They've gone under in 11 of their last 16 and under in 4 of their last 5 games on the road. They're 7-15 to the under on the road this season. Atlanta, meanwhile, they've lost 12 of their last 17, including losing 6 of their last 8 games at home. Atlanta's gone under in 5 of their last 7 games, and 9 of the last 13 matchups between these two teams have gone under. And Atlanta has not necessarily been a big under team this season. In fact, I don't know if this game, to me, maybe the trends do say under, but I don't know if that's going to be the case here. So I'm going to dial it back a little bit. I'm going to take the Atlanta Hawks to win this game. They're just 7-12 at home straight up this season, but Milwaukee is 7-15 straight up as an underdog here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Hawks. They were off a pretty bad loss there the other night to Boston, 132-106 at home. But Milwaukee comes in here. They've been playing on the road quite a bit here of late. In fact, they did that little thing where they were on a road trip, went home to play Minnesota in that one game where Julius Randle got off when Ant-Man and Gobert were out, and they lost by 33 points. And then they hit back the road. You can see why sometimes those games are tricky because then they had to go right back on the road. So I think Milwaukee, maybe a little bit of a fatigue factor here, although they have been off here for 3 days. I'm going to go ahead and take the Hawks here on Monday night. Give me Atlanta here over Boston in this one. If you want to sneak a peek here at the injury report for this one, and you have Dyson Daniels questionable for Atlanta. Ricochet, he is out. Porzingis still out of this lineup. Taurean Prince is still out for Detroit. Hey, we got some comments from you guys in the chat. You're welcome to make comments on these games. And let's see what we got. And Personal Account says, you got to fade the Hawks here, Ramon. They're terrible. Yeah, maybe you're right. They are, pretty woeful here, but they actually have a better record than the Bucks this season. So just by a couple of games.
Final.
All right, another one here right now with the Thunder on the road here, taking on the Cavs in Cleveland. The Thunder coming back down to earth big time here all of a sudden. They did lose a game here on Saturday. They lost to Miami 122-128. I had Miami in that game. It snapped the Thunder's winning streak. We think, of the Thunder right now and the fact they lost a few games finally, but still they came back and started to put together another winning streak before dropping that last game to the Heat. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers come in here off of back-to-back road wins at Philadelphia. They cover the spread in both those games, rocking the Sixers here on the road. Cleveland's still a very, very poor cover this season, despite a 24-19 overall record. They're just 15-28 against the spread, although they are 5-4 against the spread as an underdog. They're just 7-17 against the spread at home. Meanwhile, for the Thunder, they're not necessarily terrible against the spread, but when you're 35-8 overall, 15-5 on the road, 35-8 as of this season straight up, just 21-22 against the spread. They're often caught laying a few too many points half the time, I guess. And now they're going to lay it here against a Cleveland team that, well, still pretty good. Yeah, they've had to fight back here a little bit and maybe underachieving just a tad, especially considering that they're such a bad spread team overall. So for OKC here, they failed to cover in 6 of their last 8 games overall, although they've won 5 of their last 6 coming in. And not only that, they've gone 4-1 against the spread last 5 meetings against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The two teams have not played yet this season. Cleveland comes in here winners of 7 of their last 10 games overall, 5 of their last 7 at home. They've also won here. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Coming into this one, Cleveland is 9-15 to the under at home this season. I think, Cleveland's inability to cover the spread makes me question whether or not they could even stay in there here as a dog against this Thunder team. But I think for me, the under is probably going to be the better play, and I'm going to take that. Let's go to the chat here. I'm going to go under here with Oklahoma City and Cleveland on Monday night at 2:34. All right, let's see here. I think Mr. Weskers might be on the Cavs here. Chat, we're taking Cavs. He's telling chat. Chat, we're taking the Cavs against the spread. Cal Dog liking the under here. I'm with Cal Dog. I'm going to take the under here in this matchup, although last year both meetings did go over last year. In fact, Cleveland won the game at home 129-122 last season. And we got the Gibson rating in here for this one. All right, next up, the Clippers are on the road taking on the Wizards in Washington here. This one's at 3:10 Eastern, 12:10 Pacific. Got two teams definitely going in opposite directions right now, with the Washington Wizards here on a pretty long losing streak right now. They've dropped 6 in a row. The Clippers, meanwhile, have won and covered 5 straight games here right now. They've already continued to heat it up here. Man, they put themselves in a big hole to start the season, but they definitely have been rolling here of late. Basically 2 kind of long winning streaks here, all of a sudden broken up by a loss or 2 in there. But other than that, the Clippers have been one of the better teams here since the start of the year, I guess, pretty much right now. Clippers do dominate this series despite the fact that they match up just twice a year. The Clippers have covered the spread in 9 straight meetings against the Washington Wizards right now. The teams just met, of course, 5 days ago, and the Clippers won at home 119-105, laying 11.5 points. And I think if you look overall, I mean, the Clippers in this current role that they're on, they've covered 8 of their last 10 games. They're 11-10 ATS on the road. Not great as a favorite so far, but it feels like they've turned it around. They were clubbing teams there for a while as a favorite just a couple of weeks ago when they started this turnaround. For Washington, meanwhile, just 15-23 against the spread as an underdog. Washington not only has lost 6 straight, but have also failed to cover in 5 of those games. Washington's gone under in 12 of their last 18 games, and 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under, including the earlier matchup this year and both matchups last year. I got to take the Clippers in this one, man. They're in a great groove right now. They are laying some points here, but they usually just take it out on this team, period, it seems like. So I'm going to take the Clippers here in this one. When the Clippers did play here at Washington last year, they won the game 121-96 over the Wizards. Looking at a flat 7 here right now. The total, though, I should say, it looks like it's up here to 24.5 here overnight. Let's update that total on the screen here. Kawhi is out of this game, and I think that maybe the Clippers would be favored even by a couple of more points here. But he's got a little knee soreness, of course, so he is out. For the Wizards here, Vukcevic is out. Koulibaly is out. Still no sign of Trae Young at this point. And we did learn that Cam Whitmore has been fighting the shoulder injury, will miss the remainder of the season. I think that was announced over the weekend or late last week there. And for the Clippers, John Collins, he's probable in this one. And we got a couple of plays maybe here from the chat. Cal Dog likes the over here. And you got the Gibson ratings here. It says go take the Clippers and the under. I'll take the Clippers. Next up here on King Day, you've got the Mavericks taking on the Knicks at the Garden. Great matchup here with the Knicks favored by 10, maybe 10.5 here right now, total 230. This one at 5:10 Eastern, 2:10 Pacific, with Dallas coming in with a couple of wins in a row. You know what? Cooper Flagg's been hurt, and they've stepped up with a couple of wins. Yeah, they were playing the Utah Jazz there, but they were favored in both games at home against Utah. Took care of business. Now, the status of Flagg certainly is a big question mark here. He is improving on that ankle, and he could make this game here, but really the Dallas Mavericks have notable injuries here big time. You got PJ Washington. He's out of this game. Of course, AD is out long-term here with that wrist surgery. D'Angelo Russell, he's out. Cafford is out as well. So the Mavericks are missing some pieces here, that's for sure. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, he is still questionable with his own ankle sprain here. And Josh Hart is questionable. You got basically the star backcourt there for the Knicks. They also have some issues coming in. But you know what? Their prospects for making the lineup aren't awful here. So see what you guys think in this one, with Dallas coming in here having won 5 of their last 7 meetings overall against the New York Knicks. So the two teams met back in November in Dallas, and the Knicks won that game 113-111. They did not cover. That ended the Mavericks' 4-game cover streak over the Knicks. They're 4-1 ATS in the last 5 meetings against the Mavericks. For the Knicks, they've failed to cover now in 14 of their last 17 games here. Currently, they were a big cover there for a while, and now they're still 15-7 ATS at home. That's where they've done most of their good work. And Dallas just 6-13 against the spread on the road. But Dallas has been a good underdog, 15-10 ATS as a dog. Knicks have actually dropped 8 of their last 10 games overall and went just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games at home. So it's been a little bit tricky here for the Knicks. They've still kept the winning going for the most part, although right now they've lost here 3 straight games with losses here past week and a half to the Kings, the Warriors, and Phoenix here at home. So the Knicks are having some issues, especially when the guards have been kind of sidelined a little bit here right now. So let's see if you guys are interested here in this one. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but Dallas here has gone under in 9 of their last 6 games overall. So let's see what you got in the chat tonight. Got a couple folks willing to take a stab with me here on this one. And Mr. Wester says, we're taking the Mavs against the spread if 3 of the 3 quarters of the questionable roster plays, right? Going to have to wait till the injury report on this one. Mavs plus the points for Cal Dog. We've got the Gibson rating here. Look at this. He's got the Knicks covering here, it looks like, with the ratings. and over. He says it's a Knicks spot for sure. And Andre just says, you know what? Lay the 400, lay the 4 or 500 here. No problem. Take him on the money line minus 410. And just collect your $100 and move on. I think that's what Andre might be saying. I can't do that. I'm not so lucky here. I got to go with a pick against the spread or with the total here. I have the Knicks actually to blow out Dallas. I hope the guards are in there. I'm going to just have to take my chances here. At least one of the guards are in there tonight. Flag could make this lineup. I'm going to take the Knicks here to get back and into that blowout mode a little bit at home. I'm going to take them to rock here against Dallas. They have not been doing a good job covering the spread. I got to admit that, but I'm going on a little bit of the situational play here for me with the Knicks here on Sunday, and I'm going to take them here to beat Dallas and cover the double digits. All right, the Utah Jazz going to be at San Antonio here, holiday action on Monday, 5:10 Eastern, 2:10 Pacific, with the Spurs coming in off of a couple of wins here into this one over Milwaukee and over Minnesota. They didn't cover against Minnesota. It was a thriller, 126 to 123, but San Antonio still playing pretty well here of late. For Utah, they have those consecutive losses here at Dallas. They've been in Texas here basically for the last 4 or 5 days. They're on a road trip here right now. This is their 5th straight road game coming in, and they're getting big points here, 16 from San Antonio in this one. They already met this season one other time, and it was at San Antonio. Utah won it 127 to 114 here in San Antonio. And they were getting 14 and a half in that one. The total went was short. I won't say well short, but the 241 did end up 3 points short of the 244 and a half total. This one, though, is at 244 exactly. So see what you think, though, here with this one tonight with the Jazz taking on the Spurs here. The Jazz have lost 9 of their last 11 games coming into this one. They are just 2-4 straight up and against the spread. Their last 6 meetings against San Antonio. Utah's gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. They're also 24-14 to the over as an underdog. For San Antonio here, they've won 4 of their last 6, won and covered 4 of their last 6 games right now. They've won 4 of their last 5 games at home. They've gone under in 8 of their last 9 games coming into this one. They're also 11-17 to the under as a favorite here. Maybe the trends could point a little bit to the over, maybe be more because of the Jazz. And we know their penchant for playing in some pretty high-scoring games and giving it up big time here. It feels like defensively, if you know what I mean. So we could get your comments here if you want in this one with the Jazz here on the road, getting 16 and a half. Lauri Markkanen is out of this game. Usually it's, hey, Markkanen in, they cover. Markkanen out, not so much. So Markkanen here missing this game right now. He's missed 9 games so far this season. That's 28 points. You don't want to be missing there. Also, Isaiah Collier is questionable here for the Jazz. So, hey, we got some comments from you in the chat. Maybe I'll go to the chat first before I make my call here. Cal Dog says that's too many points for the Spurs, to lay it here. Yeah, they're 12, 14, and 2 as a favorite this year. Maybe it's a little bit tough to decipher with such a large double-digit spread. They did cover against Milwaukee the other night, laying 7.5, but Andre says Jazz plus the points. It's just too many points. And here is Greg here on the Gibson ratings. I think he likes San Antonio there with the Gibson ratings. Cal Dog likes the under here. And all right, think that's going to do it for this one. I guess I got to make my call here, and I'm going to take the Spurs to win comfortably here and cover this huge spread. Like I said, without Markkanen, the Jazz have had some struggles here, and they're coming off big losses here to Dallas right now on the road here in Texas. They just lost by 22 points and 18 points in back-to-back games against Dallas, who didn't have Cooper Flag in those games. Not that that maybe matters in the context of this matchup, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Spurs to crush them. All right. Here we go. Next up. Now we're into the evening action here now at 7:10 Eastern and 4:10 Pacific with the Sixers hosting the Pacers right now. Sixers have lost two in a row here right now with losses to Cleveland at home here, back-to-back games, or 2 games in 3 nights anyway. Philadelphia lost 133 to 107. And 117 to 115, basically just a slight favorite in both games, so didn't fare well for the Sixers. For the Pacers here, meanwhile, they come in here off of a loss at Detroit, 121 to 78, in a real clunker there. That was after they had knocked off New Orleans at home. But for Indiana here, they are just 8-11. Against the spread on the road. Philly comes in here still 23-16 ATS, 14-10 ATS as a favorite. They're not terrific against the spread at home, going just 9-12 in their home games so far this season ATS. Indiana, meanwhile, has lost 15 of their last 19 coming in. They've beaten the Pacers, the Sixers in 5 of the last 7 meetings. Between the two teams, Indiana also has covered 5 of their last 7 games coming into this one. They've been able to take advantage as an underdog here of late. For Philadelphia, meanwhile, they've won 8 of the last 11 meetings against the Pacers coming in. They've gone over in 14 of their last 19 games against the Pacers overall. Philadelphia has also gone over in 5 of their last 6 games here at home. So we'll see what you guys like in this one with the Pacers on the road, taking on the Sixers here. And let's take a look at the injury report. This one almost inconsequential here. It feels like PG and Embiid. They are questionable in this game. I think they're going to be able to make the lineup here. Ben Mathurin is still out for the Pacers here, but got some plays from you guys in the chat. Here, it's going to be Andre likes the Sixers here in this one. The Gibson ratings seems to like Indiana here in this one, and maybe a slight play on the over there. Maybe it is 220. I got to update this total for sure. This one's up to, looks like 228.5, even some 229s out there. This one's been on the move higher here. Got a few more comments from you guys. Andre likes Maxey to go for more than 25, and Edgecombe in his points and assists. Mr. Wesker says both these teams are terrible. And we got Grimes for a prop here. And Greg says Indiana plays them tough. Yeah, well, they should. I mean, Indiana's been a better program here. The two teams did meet in December. It was 115 to 105. The Sixers got the win at home. And they were laying 5.5 points there in that one. So I don't know. I think the Sixers probably can rock them here. I'm going to take the Sixers to win and cover here against Indiana. Man, I'm on these home teams here on Night Moves tonight. Laying points here. All right, here we go. Next up, the Phoenix Moneymakers taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Man, Phoenix just continues to rock here. They've reached now the 30 win plateau in the cover department. They're 30-12 ATS. The Suns are 15-2 against the spread as a favorite here, going up against a Brooklyn team that's not very good against the spread. 17-21 against the spread as an underdog. Here coming into this one. So for the Nets here, they've lost 6 of their last 7 games coming in, covering the spread in just 2 of their last 6 games overall. They've gone under in 4 of their last 5 games and 7 of their last 10 overall. Brooklyn's 8-13 to the under at home and 16-22 to the under as an underdog. Meanwhile, for Phoenix, they also are a big-time under team here. Despite all their success, I don't know if that means they are great defensively. They're pretty good defensively, actually. But they are 3-7 to the under in their last 10 games and 5-12 to the under as a favorite. Phoenix has gone under in 7 of their last 8 games. They've covered the spread in 8 of their last 9 overall and have won 10 of their last 14 games here. I am a little worried that the Suns here, this might be a spot to sleepwalk here. Not that they, would do that, but this one on this Monday game, I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm going to take the under here in this one with Phoenix. Look, they should crush. They're covering the spread like nobody's business right now. Best spread team in the league, almost by far here. And you got a Brooklyn team coming in here off of a loss to the Bulls. They played back-to-back games against the Bulls 2 and 3 nights. They did win the first one and covered, but then lost the game at Chicago by 22 points, a 7.5-point dog. Like I said, they've failed to cover here in 4 of their last 5. Meanwhile, for the Suns, they just beat the Knicks on the road, 106-99. This is the 4th straight road game here for Phoenix, so you could consider that. They have lost 2 of the 3, dropping games to Miami and Detroit. Obviously, this one's a little bit easier. And let's see what you guys have in the chat. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves. All right, we got Suns in a blowout here for Andre. The Gibson ratings says take the Suns. And the, oh man, this is a big time Gibson ratings double play right here. He says Brooklyn rarely scores over 109 points right now. No wonder they're going under so much. Timmy Choo-Shoes likes Brooks threes. He says the Suns play D. And Andre likes those Brooks threes as well. And let's see here. Personal account, fade the Nets back-to-back unless they play MPJ. They tanked last night, and that's why he took the Bulls there in that game. Yeah, that's another factor. Good call there, too, by Andre. The Brooklyn Nets will be on the back-to-back here following that road loss here. In fact, Phoenix may be lying in wait for them to come back here right now. Let's see here. A quick check of the injury report. This one between Phoenix and Brooklyn. You got Booker here questionable for the Suns. Jalen Green is questionable here, but I think he's going to make this game tonight. And for Brooklyn, Zaire Williams still questionable. Drake Powell questionable as well. All right, next up, Eastern Conference matchup here, 8:10 Eastern, 5:10 Pacific here tonight. Peacock game, early Peacock game here with the Celtics and the Pistons. We got a good one here, game of the night. It feels like with these two, you got both teams coming in here off of a pair of wins for Boston. Back-to-back wins over Miami and Atlanta, covering the spread in both those on the road. This is the 4th straight road game here for the Boston Celtics. For Detroit, meanwhile, they're off back-to-back wins over Phoenix and that blowout win over Indiana. So Detroit in a pretty good run here as well. coming in to this matchup. They're a 3.5-point favorite are the Pistons, and the total here 224. For Boston here, they've won 11 of their last 15 coming in, but however, just 2-4 ATS in their last 6 games. Boston's just 2-7 against the spread their last 7 games against the Detroit Pistons. Boston's also gone under in 5 of their last 7 games overall coming into this one. Detroit, meanwhile, has won 5 of their last 6 games, going 4-2 against the spread in those contests. Detroit's gone under in 7 straight right now. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under here. In fact, they just went under last month in a 112-105 win for the Pistons in Boston. 112-105, 7-point win there. So, look, both teams are going under here, and the series is an under. I'm going to take the under in this one between Boston and Detroit at 224. We'll go to the chat here right now. And yeah, personal account talking about that back there. Okay, let's see what we got here on this one. I might have missed your chat there. Mr. Westers likes the Celtics against the spread. Andre likes the Pistons on the money line here in this one. The Gibson rating says take Detroit and the under. Personal account says fade the Pistons, but he might be kidding. And Cal Dog liking the Celtics. Greg says both teams could be tired here there, although they both did not play on Sunday. And I'm going to take the under here in this one between Boston and Detroit. All right, we're on the last game right now for the NBA card, huh? We got the Heat taking on the Warriors here. So, all right, let's see what happens here. We got Miami coming in here, a 6-point dog, 6.5-point dog or so in the matchup here with the Warriors. Let's see, 238.5. Looks like the total's dropped a little bit. So Jimmy Butler will be able to make this game. He has, I don't know what his deal was there in that last game. He left mid-game there, but you also have Draymond Greenland here is probable in this game with a turned ankle. Now Tyler Hero has already been ruled out of this game here tonight. Nikola Jovic, he's probable. Jaquez probable. Davion Mitchell probable. So 3 guys have been battling a little bit of injury here of late, all back in the lineup here for the Miami Heat tonight. They're getting the points. The Warriors have won 3 straight games coming in to this one, wins and covers. At home here over Portland, the Knicks, and Charlotte. The Warriors have basically been at home almost the entire month here so far. For Miami, they're coming in off of a home win and cover over OKC. We had the Heat in that one, 122-120 as an 11.5-point dog here. These two teams did already play their first matchup of the season in Miami, 110-96. Miami rocked the Heat in that one. Miami comes in here right now having won just 2 of their last 6 games, but they are 8-4 ATS in their last 12 games overall. They've also won and covered 5 of the last 6 meetings against the Golden State Warriors here. Warriors, though, as I said, they're on a winning streak. They've won and covered 5 of their last 6 games coming in. 6 straight meetings between these two teams have gone under. And I think that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to take a 3rd straight under here on this into this NBA card here right now. Give me the under at 239 between the Heat and the Warriors here. The Heat are 14-8 ATS as an underdog. Golden State, though, is 13-9 ATS at home. They're also 20-12 to the over as a favorite, but I'm going to take the under here in this one. The Heat usually plays them pretty tough defensively, and that's why there's been a lot of the success for the Heat over Miami. The Heat have actually won 3 straight meetings over the Warriors. Okay, let's get your comments here. This one looks like the most popular game of the night with you guys. And here we go. Let's see what you got. Mr. Westers says he's got Miami against the spread. Andre's on the Heat, however. Yeah, or also plus the points. And Mr. Westers likes he likes the Heat there when they're getting points. Normie over for Andre here. And the Gibson ratings here has this one a blowout for the Warriors. All right. Oh, and hello too, Robot Glock in there. Yep, we're expecting Mr. Moody Butler to be in there. And personal account says he thinks Miami will be motivated. He thinks they'll be motivated by the Miami Hurricanes. I don't know. They'll have to wait and see. I mean, the game's going to be in progress when that one's going on. But he does like it over. Thank you, personal account. Hello to Tim J in the chat. Hey. Ernie Banks, let's play 2. And I think that's it from you guys in the chat in the NBA. All right. Appreciate it, gang. We're going to go right now to college basketball here on Monday. We've got an early card. Game starting early as 11 Eastern. So let's take a look at the early matchups here. That's what we like to do here on Night Moves. Get you ready for those early games. All right, let's take a look at these here right now with Northeastern taking on Monmouth, the Huskies and the Hawks, ready to go here on Monday in the college ranks. Again, this one, 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time, a holiday schedule here on Monday with the Hawks coming in and the Huskies. Huskies have dropped 6 of their last 8 games, just 2-4 against the spread overall in their last 6. They come in here with a 6-11 record, having lost 3 of their last 4, but they did win last time out against the Elon Phoenix, 85-78 at home. They were on 3-game homestand. Now they're hitting the road here. Not a far jaunt, certainly the Long Branch, but do have Monmouth here coming in. They've lost 6 of their last 9 coming in, but gone 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 overall. Northeastern's gone over in 8 straight games. Monmouth's gone under in 6 straight games. So what gives here when these 2 teams meet? The 2 teams met here last year. And Monmouth got the win, 78-73 as a 1.5-point dog in that one. Northeastern is 7-4 ATS on the road. Monmouth is 4-6 to the 4-6 ATS as a favorite. But like I said, I wanted to kind of compare and see here, what to do with this one when you got Northeastern, big time over this season, 12-5 to the over, 9-3 to the over as a dog. Meanwhile, Monmouth 6-11 to the under and 2-6 to the under at home. I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under here in this one. My deduction process says go under 147 here with Monmouth and Northeastern. I've seen this game actually dip here to 3 a little bit, and also the total has dropped here to a few spots to 146. So maybe that is the way to go. Yuri Fritz is questionable for the Huskies. All right. Hey, a couple plays in the chat here from you guys for the college games here on Monday. Let's see here. Northeastern for Cal Dog. And he says, didn't they beat Elon there? Yep, they hammered Elon at home, and they were 3.5 point dogs in that game. The Gibson ratings here say take Monmouth and the under. And Andre's on Monmouth as well. All right, let's keep at it here right now with this next matchup. Again, we're talking early action holiday games here right now in the Colonial. We saw that first game just to run the standings here a little bit, and the Colonial. Neither of none of these teams. We're at the bottom of the barrel here a little bit, but Wilmington is 2 games ahead of the pack at 6-0 right now. All these teams are 500 or below in conference play. Drexel comes in here 3-3. Towson, meanwhile, 2-4. Coming into this one, you got Towson here 6.5, 125.5 or so. But these two teams playing well so far in a few conference games. Maybe they can make some headway here right now. I don't think Wilmington is by far the best in the Colonial. I mean, second place Hofstra is pretty good as well, and I think probably William and Mary in there. But out of this group that we just talked about, these 4 teams, I think Towson might be the best. They've won a couple of games in a row here right now to make up for some a bad start, but they won and covered against Northeastern and won and covered against Charleston. Drexel, meanwhile, has won 3 straight with wins and covers over Stony Brook. Stony Brook, I think it was, and also William and Mary and Monmouth. One was a non-conference game in there. No, Stony Brook's in the Colonial now. I keep forgetting. All right, let's see what you guys have here, though. In this one, Drexel's 3-6 against the spread on the road, but 5-4. ATS is a dog. Towson 4-3 against the spread at home. So let's go with it here in this matchup from the Colonial with Drexel and Towson. Drexel's 4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. Towson just 3-6. ATS here of late. Drexel's just 1-6, however, straight up in their last 7 games against Towson. Drexel's gone under in 5 of their last 6, and also under in 4 of their last 5 games on the road. Towson's gone under in 7 of their last 9 games. However, 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have actually gone over here, and these are 2 teams that are, play pretty low scoring games. That's for sure. So I kind of want to go under here. Let me see what the chat has. I think I'm stuck with the under in this game. Here we go. We got some plays from the chat. It's going to be Towson for Robot Glock. He likes them to cover easy. Cal Dog likes Drexel here. Monmouth, let's see, Monmouth back there in that other game for Robot Glock. He says Drexel's winning too many games. Time for them to lose. And hello to James Kelly in the chat. Nice to see you, James. He said, told you, Patriots and the Rams cashed. All right, great job there, James. And yeah, I took the Rams on the money line. Good job. Greg there says 63-61 for Towson here. Yeah, I did take the Bears. You're right there with the points. And great to have Tim in here as well. All right, I got to make my call here in this matchup with Drexel and Towson. I like what you guys are saying there a little bit about. Like I said, I think Towson is, pretty good team. Just off to a slow start, they'd have to kind of rally a little bit. I'm gonna take another under here. I know these 2 teams. I mean, look, this is 126 here. Towson is 6-11 to the under so far. 2-5 to the under at home. We already mentioned that they've been going under in 7 of their last 9 games overall. So I'll take the under again here at 126. All right, next up here right now is going to be a couple of Georges going at it here as we stay, keep it firing up here as we go to this one with George Washington taking on George Mason here on Monday. Heading over to the Atlantic 10. For these two, you got Mason here favored by 3, total 154.5 with George Mason coming into this one so far for Mason here in this matchup against George Washington. Mason comes in here right now favored by 3, total 154.5. But the story with Mason, they're 17-1 right now. Just having an incredible season here. Only favored by 3. They're 5-0 in conference play. George Washington is 12-6 overall, 3-2 against in conference play. Now, for George Mason, look, they did play a relatively easy schedule, very easy schedule in non-conference play. So they're not really head and shoulders above George Washington, I think, ratings-wise, but certainly stands out when you're 17-1 and 12-0 at home. So far this season, I think that's been kind of the big story, even though, like I said, kind of a relatively easy schedule. But hey, all that matters is we want you to cover the spread. So they did fail last time out to Loyola, 82-74 as a 10.5 point favorite. They were able to win that one by 8. But before that, covers over Rhode Island, Fordham, and VCU. So Mason still 8-5 against the spread at home. For George Washington here, they are coming in off of a loss to Davidson, 84-79. They did beat Loyola 101-66 prior to that at home. So see what you like here with this one with the G-Dub and GMU coming in. George Washington has won 12 of their last 12 of 18 games this season. Also, they've gone 4-2 ATS in their last 6 games. George Washington has gone over in 13 of their last 20, dating a little bit back to last season. George Mason here just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games. They've been having to lay some points after the incredible start, but like I said, 3-1 ATS in their last 4 games coming in. So are they really that much better? The spread says not, with just a 3-point spread. Mason's gone over in 5 of their last 7 games coming into this one. Let's go to the chat, see what you have here with George Washington and George Mason. Right, here we go. Let's take a look here right now with, I think Mr. Westcoast, I think this is George Washington against the spread. And Robot Glock says George Mason favored by 3. Somebody must be out for George Washington. I don't know. I think a lot has to do with the 17-1 record of George Mason. Like I said, they're probably not as good as that record indicates, or I don't want to say they're not as good. Like I said, they've beaten who they've beaten. For George Washington here, let's see. Still the same injury report here for the last week. You got Rouget-Roan questionable and Bevins questionable for Mason here. Woodward questionable, Procise questionable, Ellington questionable. So I want to say thank you to James Kelly here. Really appreciate you, James, and really appreciate your support of us here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Greg here, let's see what he says. The Gibson ratings has GW to win this game. Upset outright here. And he likes this one under for sure. This is a strong one on the Gibson ratings tonight. Tim likes GW here. And Greg will follow it up with a money line. And Greg says the wrong team is favored. Robot Glock also on the Colonials here. Okay. Yeah, man. 17-1, not good enough for you guys. That's for sure. I better just. I might be leading to that favorite. So let me go to the total here, and I'm going to take it over in this one between George Washington and George Mason. I'm not saying I'm a total believer, but 17-1, pretty strong record. Hey, George Washington, like I said, 12-6 here. They have lost 2 of their last 3 games. Not only did they lose to Davidson, but they lost to Dayton on the road. So I'll go over here. You guys talking me off Mason a little bit here. All right, Princeton and Marquette got some big conference action here as we head to the Big East in this one with the Friars on the road here taking on Marquette on Monday night, 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific for this one. For Providence here, they're 9-9. They've lost 3 of their last 4, but coming off of a win over Creighton,
Final.
93-88 is a 2.5-point dog at home. Meanwhile, Marquette is broken somehow. For Shaka Smart, one of his toughest seasons it feels like in quite a while coming in. I mean, man, look at them. They're right now here for Marquette, just 6-13, a 3-game losing streak with losses here to Villanova, St. John's, and they even lost that last game to DePaul here right now. So for Providence here, they come in with a 2-5 conference record. Marquette, meanwhile, 1-7 so far for the Warriors here. So Marquette coming in just 4-9 ATS at home, 2-7 ATS as a favorite. Providence 5-3 against the spread so far as an underdog. For Providence here, they've lost 5 of their last 7. They've also failed 1-5 ATS, well, straight up and ATS in their last 6 games against Marquette. Marquette's gone just 2-9 ATS in their last 9 games overall, including just 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 games at home. Marquette has gone over in 4 of their last 6, but they are just 3-5-1 to the under as a favorite. Providence is 6-2 to the over as a dog here, and also 13-5 to the over as a overall. Let's see what you have. I might take another total here in this one, actually. And we'll get the plays in the chat here. Mr. Wesker is going to be taking on Marquette here. All right, and let's see here. Greg is on Marquette here of the Gibson ratings. Pretty much right on here. And Robot says that really he thinks Smart has been living off some of his prior successes here actually over the last. So what did he say? He's been living off that Final Four run back many years ago. That was 13 years ago. Since then, he was with Texas for 6 years. He's in his 5th year here now at Marquette. Look, he had a real strong year with Marquette a few years ago. 4 seasons ago, I think it was. But they had a nice run also. Okay, here we go. Mr. Wesker's Marquette's his favorite play on this card. And let's see here. Robot Glock, though, is on Providence. Greg says it's a must-win for Marquette. Oh, man, it is. Marquette to wake up. I mean, I don't think they're going to close any ground, it feels like. Tim J on Marquette here. Poor Robot. Donation, I guess. All right, I'm going to take the under here in this one. You guys seem pretty split in the chat on the side, so I'll just take the under here at 166. All right, we're going to grab one game here from the added board on Monday night. It's going to be Stephen F. Austin taking on Nichols. Man, we talk a lot about Nichols. Maybe I'm go into too many of their matchups here, but do have Stephen F. Austin actually favored on the road here against Nichols on Monday night. So we got to take a look at this one here for sure with this matchup in the Southland with first place Stephen F. Austin coming in here 8-1, Nichols State 7-2. So we got a big one here in this one. By the way, McNeese is taking on Corpus Christi, who's in fourth place. So you basically have the top four teams in the Southland Conference squaring off here on Monday night. But this one seems to be a little bit more interesting there. McNeese is still a pretty big favorite in their matchup, actually, with Corpus Christi favored by 7 on the road. So let me take a look at this one here with SFA coming in 15-3, Nichols 16-10 or 6-10. Nichols with consecutive losses to McNeese and to Lamar. They were favored over Lamar on Saturday and lost 90-80. Stephen F. Austin, meanwhile, with 3 straight wins here over Houston Christian, Incarnate Word, and New Orleans here to keep pace right now. SFA 13-3 against the spread, 10-2 against the spread as a favorite. 6-3 ATS on the road for Nichols. Meanwhile, 8-9 ATS, 3-2 ATS at home. SFA is 5-11 to the under, but Nichols is 11-6 to the over. What to do with this matchup? Stephen F. Austin's covered 9 of their last 10 overall. They've also won 10 of their last 11, although they're just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 matchups with Nichols State. In fact, these two teams met here twice last season, and Nichols State won them both. They were 4-point favorites at home and won 73-61 last season, a 12-point win for Nichols over SFA. Nichols has won 8 of their last 11 and won 7 of their last 8 games at home, including beating Stephen F. Austin in 6 of their last 9 meetings overall here at Nichols State. Nichols has gone over in 4 of their last 5, but SFA has gone under in 9 of 12. Let's go to the chat here. A couple more here in the college ranks, and we got some big hockey card here on Monday night. All right, here, let's see. We've got SFA on the money line for Cal Dog. The Gibson ratings say take the under. I think the Gibson ratings. I am going to take the under, actually. Give me the under in this one between Stephen F. Austin and Nichols State. I think it'll play to maybe Stephen F. Austin's pace, right? They're the under team for sure. Nichols, they pretty much go over. All right, I got one more college game here right now. It's going to be between Montana State and Northern Colorado. Let's go to the Big Sky for this one with Bobcats taking on the Bears. All right, here we go. For Montana, they come in here having covered 4 of their last 5 games overall. They're 10-8 coming in right now, playing pretty well. They're coming in off of a win over Montana at home, favored by 5.5 here. They did lose to Idaho before that, but had wins over these Northern Colorado Bears. These two teams did play on New Year's Day, and Montana State finally beat Northern Colorado 89-75 here. For a big win. Usually Northern Colorado's kind of dominated the series in this matchup, but Montana State was finally able to get a win in the last meeting. Montana State is 7-3 against the spread on the road. Northern Colorado's failed to cover in 7 of their last 10 games coming into this one. And, Northern Colorado won the meeting here last year, 72-45 at home, but I think Montana State's made some big strides here, and you look at the current standings here in the Big Sky Conference. Of course, Portland State leading the way, but Montana State is just one game back with a 4-1 record. Portland State is 5-0. Northern Colorado, meanwhile, 1-5 currently here in conference play. I'm going to take Montana State here to win and cover on the road, or to win. I think they'll win. They're a 3-point dog here. Like I said, they're 4-1 in conference. Northern Colorado's 1-5 in conference. Quinn Denker, he's a pretty good player for Northern Colorado, but he's just not getting enough support. And I think you'll see Pat McMahon and Montana State here probably win this one. All right, and let's see here. Mr. Wesker is liking Northern Colorado against the spread. The Gibson ratings also like, the Gibson ratings actually favor Montana State and maybe the under. Mr. Wesker will take the Bears on the money line. He's been waiting for this game. And Robot Glock does say, hey, it's a revenge game here now for the Bears. All right, I think that's it for the college game. Thank you to the chat. We got a big hockey card here. Holiday hockey card on King Day. That was a great. Okay, here we go. Get to the hockey action here. We got a 10-game holiday card here. Just a few games in the afternoon, however. And we'll get to it right now and start it off with those Buffalo Sabres on the road taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes here, $1.90, maybe even $2 here in this one. Total 6.5 here, but boy, no respect here for the Sabres, despite their incredible run here right now. They did lose their last game. They've actually lost 2 of the last 4 games overall. They lost to Minnesota the other night, 5-4. For Carolina, meanwhile, they come in here off back-to-back wins over Florida and New Jersey. The big deal here for the Buffalo Sabres right now in this incredible winning streak. They've actually put together kind of 2 winning streaks here. Yeah, they lost last time out, but they've still won 8 of their last 9 games on the road and 15 of their last 18 games overall. Carolina's won 14 out of the last 20 meetings, but that was before the new Buffalo was here. I will say this, Carolina's also beaten Buffalo in 12 straight games at home. So that is total dominance, no doubt about it. Still, this is a different Buffalo club right now. And even as a, plus 160 underdog, they're kind of still got to lay a little bit here if you're interested in them on the puck line. But maybe that's the right call still. The way that Buffalo has been playing right now. Buffalo's gone over in 7 straight games. Carolina's gone over in 5 of their last 6. And here for Carolina right now, they've also gone over in 17 of their 26 home games. Buffalo just 9-14 to the under as an underdog. Carolina been a terrific favorite here, usually getting the job done. But let's see what you have here if you want to play along with me here with the NHL card here on Monday afternoon. This one's at 1:30 Eastern and 10:30 Pacific time. I'll see what you guys have in the chat here in this matchup. And it's going to be the Gibson rating, say 4-3 Buffalo here. And Robot Glock, he says the Sabres are going to lose. Greg says you can't take the Canes. They've just cost him too much money this season. The Canes, yeah, you look at Carolina right now and this season and their ratings here a little bit. They are just down 2 units this season. They haven't been awful, actually. Cal Dog does like the Sabres here as well. Greg says every time he takes the Canes, they lose. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna take the over. Actually, the Sabres look. This is pretty good. I don't want to give out $1.45 though. Here, I kind of like them on the puck line to stay in. They've just been so good here that even if they don't win, they're just super competitive right now. The Sabres, just terrific. Look, they just lost. They were actually favored in that game against Minnesota on Saturday, even though they lost. It's always a 1-goal game with this Sabres team. They're 14-9 as a puck line dog this season, so pretty decent there. I'll go over here in this one. Carolina, like I said, 17-9 to the over at home. I'll take the over. The Capitals are on the road taking on the Avalanche here. Capitals coming in here off a pair of losses. Colorado's lost 2 in a row. Colorado, all of a sudden, man, what's going on here? Been some issues here of late. They finally lost at home as well. Still, you got Washington here. 5-10 straight up as an underdog, but look, they're ultra competitive on the puck line here, 11-4 as a puck line dog. We know Colorado, one of the few teams, is a kind of a winner as a puck line favorite. Don't see that too often, but for Washington here, they've actually lost 13 of their last 19 overall. They've lost 5 of the last 6 games against the Avalanche. They've gone just 2-7 their last 9 on the road, which they started off, remember, hot on the road. Now all of a sudden they're 10-9 on the road. So Washington's dropped 7 of their last, as I said, 7 of their last 9 on the road. They've gone under in 4 of their last 6 games overall. For Colorado here, they still won 12 of their last 16. That's kind of a slump for them. They've actually lost 7 of the last 10 games to the Capitals at home. And it's not like, the Avalanche, sure, this is a record-setting pace for the Avalanche, but they've been just fine over the last, 4 or 5 years or so. In Washington, they've been, okay, mediocre, a little bit of success last year. But funny that Washington does seem to have such success coming in here. I will say this. It's almost like a home-and-home reverse. At home, Washington loses to Colorado. And on the road, they beat Colorado. It's kind of weird that Washington's actually lost 5 of the last 6 games to Colorado, and 3 of those games coming basically at home. So, like I said, Colorado wins at Washington. Washington wins at Colorado. So let's see here. I probably end up taking a puck line here. It's a little cheaper than that last game. So give me Washington here to hang in there with the Avs in this one. They're minus $1.35 or so on the puck line, and that's what I'll do. I'm going to take Washington here on the puck line. The Gibson ratings say Colorado and over.
Final.
Cal Dog liking the under here. I think, Colorado 20-25 to the under as a favorite. They've gone over in 7 of their last 10, however. Timmy says the Caps got an old team and that the Avs are going to crush them. All right, got the Penguins here on the road taking on the Kraken. NHL action here for Monday afternoon, 5:10 Eastern and 2:10 Pacific time here on the West Coast. This one's at Seattle here. Seattle's lost 3 straight games coming in right now to New Jersey, Boston, and Utah, but that was the end of a long road trip, man, long road trip. Now they're back in action here a couple of nights later at home. Pittsburgh's been struggling as well. They come in here off of a loss to Columbus in their last game for Pittsburgh here. They've lost 4 out of their last 5. They've also lost 7 of the last 8 meetings against the Kraken. 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams have gone under as well. Pittsburgh has gone under in 4 of their last 6 games. The Kraken have gone under in 4 of their last 5. They're also 6-16 to the under at home. And also, they've gone under in 24 of 42 games as an underdog. So I think I'm going to probably just take the under here in this one. Seattle has dropped 5 of their last 6 games coming in. And like I said, a good run here for the Kraken have kind of played well against the Penguins here. But I'm going to take the under in this one between Pittsburgh and Seattle. The two teams did meet back in November. Seattle, of course, got the win at Pittsburgh 3-2. See what you have in the chat here with this one. Timmy Two Shoes likes Everly to get a goal and a Seattle win. And the Gibson ratings say 3-2 Kraken. Kraken and under there. All right, I'll take the under as well. Sharks are on the road taking on the Florida Panthers. Another big favorite here, even though these teams have virtually identical records. San Jose 24-20-3, Florida 25-19-3. So not much separates these two teams record-wise coming in. Florida's got the reputation, I guess. Maybe that's it. And the Sharks are on the road here, and they've just lost at Detroit 4-2 last time out, but they beat Washington before that. Florida, meanwhile, comes in off of a long road trip, and they're back home now. They did win 3 of the last 4 games on the trip, beating Ottawa, Buffalo, and Washington. They did lose to Carolina in one of the games there in between, but for the Sharks here, they've won 7 of their last 10 games overall. Now, they have lost 12 of the last 13 games to Florida, but those were different Sharks, man. These Sharks are a lot better. Florida's won 6 straight at home against San Jose. Florida's gone over in 4 of their last 5 and over in 5 of their last 7 games at home. Sharks, meanwhile, have gone over in 9 of their last 11 games. Coming into this one, they've also won 4 of their last 5 games on the road. So, look, this is a different Sharks, man. And, I think they can hang here for sure in this one. I'm going to take the Sharks on the money line here in this one. Give me the Sharks plus $1.60 here. Maybe the puck line could be better, but still minus $1.60. So maybe you want to go +1 somewhere in there. But I'm going to take the Sharks in an upset here against Florida in this one. Florida is just 15-18 as a favorite this year. As a favorite, the Florida Panthers. So I'm going to take the Sharks here. They're playing so well this season and very, very profitable. I know I've said it every show here for the last 2 weeks, but no team is more profitable than the San Jose Sharks. They're up 14.5 units so far this season. Really, nobody even comes close to that figure. The Islanders are up 7 3/4 units this season. Boston's up 11 3/4 units this season.
Final.
Detroit 8.5 units. But I'm going to take the Sharks here, the most profitable team in the National Hockey League. All right, let's see if there's any plays in the chat here. It's going to be over for Timmy Two Shoe. Also, Greg, the Gibson ratings has the Panthers to win it. Says they'll get back on track. Cal Dog says that puck line's okay with him at that minus $1.60 price. Timmy's going over. He thinks that Florida can light him up here right now. And Robot says here, look, he likes the Sharks here. Nobody's going to go to the hockey game. They'll all be watching the football game on TV because Indiana owns all the tickets. Greg says the Sharks aren't winning this game. Panthers to take a bite out of Sharks. Bite out of crime. All right. And Timmy says Florida will give him a taste of the biz. All right, next up here. Minnesota Wild on the road taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. NHL action here for Monday night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Both teams in a little bit of a rut here, but Minnesota's coming off of a win over Buffalo to start this road trip. They had lost three straight at home, three in a row at home. They came home for three and lost them all. Toronto, meanwhile, comes in off of a win over Winnipeg. That snapped a two-game losing streak. For these two, they didn't have not met yet so far this season. Toronto 16-5 at home here so far. Minnesota 14-7 on the road here right now. Interesting matchup for sure. You got a Minnesota team here that has lost five of their last seven. They've lost five of the last seven to Toronto coming in. Toronto's won seven straight at home and have won five of their last seven overall. 13 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but the two teams are combined 55-42 to the over this season. In fact, Toronto 16-7 to the over as a favorite. Minnesota 14-10 to the over on the road. Minnesota's gone over in 8 of their last 9 on the road overall and 10 of their last 11 overall coming in. Toronto's gone over in 4 of their last 5. I'm taking the Minnesota Wild here in an upset. Well, I don't even know if it's an upset. I don't even know if I'm getting the right price here at minus $1.05 or so. But I'm going to take Minnesota here with Gus on the road over the Leafs here. And Wool expected in that one. Let's see what you guys have in the chat. It's going to be Timmy on the Wild. Cal Dog is on the Wild as well. The Gibson ratings have Toronto in a blowout here. Mr. Wesker says the Wild, I can't take them. All right, I'm on the Wild here. All right, the Flyers are on the road here in Las Vegas on Monday night. You got Vegas, a $2 favorite. Philly, 22-17-8. They're losing every game here, left and right, struggling. Meanwhile, Vegas is finally heating up here right now. They've 24-11-12. Sure, they're the king of the overtime loss, but right now it's all systems go for the Golden Knights. They're kicking it in here. Winners of 7 straight, 4-1 their last 5 games at home. Philly, meanwhile, can't figure out what's going on. They've lost 6 straight. They've lost 6 of the last 7 games overall to the Golden Knights. Philly's gone over in 5 straight and 8 of their last 10 games on the road. Vegas, meanwhile, has gone over in 11 of their last 15. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Vegas is 12-6 at home this season, and Philly just 11-20 as an underdog. Vegas is a dismal 10-30 as a puck line favorite. Meanwhile, Philly 21-10 as a puck line dog. Doesn't feel real comfortable here. Still kind of think the Knights can blow these guys out, but I better just take the over here in this one. These two teams have combined 55-39 to the over. Vegas is 16-8 to the over at home. Philadelphia is 14-8 to the over on the road. I'm going to try the over in this one with Philly and Vegas, but I think Vegas can cover the puck line here. Let's see what you got in the chat. With this matchup, here we go. Jimmy Choo-Choo's on the Leafs. Oh, in that other game. Sorry about that. Here's Flyers for the upset for Cal Dog. Greg says Vegas will give him a special beat down here. And Robot Glock says the juice is crazy on these games, right? Especially when you talk about the money line and the puck line. They've definitely taken into account. I've talked all season long about the 1 goal games, right? The statistics prove it. And used to see, right, when you'd have a $2 favorite like we do in some of these games, that the puck line dog would be, maybe minus $1.20, $1.25. But now we're seeing puck line dogs, despite being a $2, a plus 160 or plus 170, you got to lay 160 or 170 on the puck line sometimes with these teams. Vegas puck line here for Robot Glock. Greg says Vegas is going to smash. Flyers just not good enough right now. Although Timmy says Vegas could easily blow this one. All right, that'll do it for that one. I'm on the over with Flyers and the Knights. All right, next up, got the Jets on the road here, a road favorite taking on the Blackhawks in this one. Winnipeg comes in here off of a loss. They were pretty hot. Remember the struggles that they had with that long losing streak? They kind of turned it around here for sure, starting to get some wins. They need some wins. Can they battle back at all right now and find their way, to the postseason, despite some of the woes that they've had here this season and of late? Winnipeg's in last place right now in the Central Division. They're one of the worst teams of profitability wise this season. They're down 13 units. If you've been fading the Jets, you're up so far. Chicago, meanwhile, comes in here on a 3-game losing streak to Edmonton, Calgary, and Boston. Winnipeg is just 8-13 on the road, but they're 6-13 as a favorite, and Chicago 10-12 at home and 19-26 as an underdog. So you could look at it that way, right? That not only that, like I said, Winnipeg has really picked it up here of late, trying to fix things and get things going so they can move out of last. Winnipeg's won 4 out of their last 5, but they're just 1-9 in their last 10 games on the road. Fortunately, they're going up probably against the weakest team in the league here right now. Chicago's lost 8 of their last 11 at home and 4 of their last 5 overall. Chicago also has gone just 1-6 straight up in their last 7 at home against Winnipeg. Winnipeg's won 6 straight meetings against these guys. Winnipeg's gone over in 9 straight, but Chicago here's gone under in 7 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams here right now. I don't know if I kind of wanted to. I'm going to take in this one the Winnipeg Jets to keep it going here right now. Give me Winnipeg here in this one on the road. Kind of want to take the under here, but man, Winnipeg's going over in all these games of late here. The last 4 games basically have had 29 goals total. All right, let's see here. Any plays from the chat in this one? The Gibson ratings has the Blackhawks and an under. All right, and let's see here. Greg says, yep, be an under game for sure. Cal Dogs on the Jets there with me. And Robot says the Jets are the better team. The New Jersey Devils are on the road here, taking on the Calgary Flames. The Devils come in 24, 22-2. Calgary 21, 23-4. Calgary's won 2 straight right now with wins over Chicago and the Islanders. New Jersey, meanwhile, coming in here off of a loss to Carolina 4-1. That snapped a 2-game losing streak. These two teams have not yet met so far this season. Calgary 13-7 still does a pretty decent job at home. They've won 10 of their last 13 at home overall. New Jersey's lost 5 of their last 7 and always struggled here. 3-11 in their last 14 games at Calgary. Also, 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone over. New Jersey here's gone under in 13 of their last 17 overall. They're 10 and 17 to the under as a favorite. Calgary, meanwhile, has gone under in 4 of their last 6. New Jersey's gone under in 8 of their last 12 on the road here. I'm going to take the Calgary Flames in this one. Give me the Flames at home plus money against New Jersey here. Calgary's won 3 straight meetings over New Jersey. In fact, they won here last season, 3-0. These two teams have not yet met this season, but I'm going to take Calgary here in this one. Markstrom continues to have mediocre numbers, that's for sure. Okay, here we go. Tim J is going to be on the Devils here. Thank you, Tim. And the Gibson ratings have it 4-2 in favor of the Flames. Blowout here. And Timmy says, you got Markstrom coming back to Calgary here. So, and Robot says, why the Devils? Why are they favored in Calgary? He has to take the Devils. Well, that doesn't make sense, Robot. Wouldn't you take the other team if that's the way you? Here's Cal Dog says Calgary to keep it going. Hey, we're getting through this just fine here. A couple games left, and then night moves will be over. How about the Rangers coming in to take on the Ducks? Man, Ducks are back to hot again. What happened? They were losing all those games. What did they lose, 9 or 10 in a row? And then now they've won 3 in a row over Dallas. And, well, maybe because they were playing the Kings. They beat them back-to-back, 3-2 and 2-1. Rangers, meanwhile, had their losing streak end when they defeated Philadelphia 6-3 on the road last time out. Rangers are just 1-5 in their last 6 games overall, but Anaheim's 3-9 in their last 12. The Rangers have won 14 of the last 20 meetings between the two teams. Rangers also have gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. The Ducks have gone over in 11 of their last 15 games and also 11 of their last 14 games at home. I got to take the Ducks here in this one as a favorite. I'm taking Anaheim here to keep it going. They're so streaky. I just think right now Anaheim 11-2 as a favorite this season for the Ducks, despite that long losing streak that they had. Just goes to show you they were playing tough teams or tougher than them anyway. It still has been a great season for Anaheim. They're still sitting here in 3rd place right now. Yeah, they've lost contact a little bit with the Golden Knights and Edmonton. It's actually a 4-way tie for 3rd place right now in the Pacific between Anaheim, LA, San Jose, and Seattle. Anaheim's up 4 3/4 units at home so far this season. We know the Rangers have been better on the road, but they're here up 5 units on the road so far this season, 16-9-2. But still, they're mired in last place in the Metro. I'm going to take the Ducks in this one. All right, and we've got Timmy Two Shoes likes the over big time here. Alternate over there. Tim says Rangers are my team, second team. Got to roll with them. All right. Timmy says he says the goalies are bad. That's why you got to take the over. Here's Cal Dog on the Ducks. The Gibson ratings here say Rangers and the over. Jimmy thinks Zibanejad's going to get traded, but he'll score tonight. And Greg said last game, I think the Rangers had 6 goals. Yeah, they did. They beat Philly 6-3. And Robot says this is an even game, so I'll just take the dog. All right. Hey, let's move on here to our final game of the night. We're in the West Coast with the Islanders taking on the Canucks here. Islanders $1.45 now on the road. Canucks I haven't seen a win from them now in how long. This is getting pretty bad here for Vancouver. They've lost, I don't know, 11, 12 in a row. I can't even think of how many they've lost in a row here right now. For the Islanders, though, they've lost 5 of the last 6 games to the Canucks. Watch out here in this one. Islanders coming in off of a loss last time out to Calgary. They were playing pretty well before that. Vancouver here, basically 0-2-10 in their last 10 games. They've lost 7 straight at home right now. For the Islanders, 12-9 on the road. We'll see how you have this one. 10 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams have gone over, including 5 straight meetings here in Vancouver. The Islanders, however, have gone under in 14 of their last 19 on the road, and Vancouver's gone under in 5 of their last 6. But I'm going with the over in this one between Vancouver and the Islanders. Vancouver's 13-7 to the over at home. Islanders 8-6 to the over as a favorite. And when you've got a season series, even though they play just twice a year, they've gone over in 10 of the last 11. I'm going to take the over here in this one. Sorokin in there, pretty good goalie, but I'll try the over here with these two. Tim J is on the Islanders here. Timmy Chushu says, let's try the Canucks. The Gibson ratings has the Islanders here in an over. So, and Robot says they can cover the puck line. All right, that's going to do it for Night Moves here. Oh, Greg on the Islanders here. And I don't know. It's starting to feel like, Timmy, that they could lose every single one. All right. Cal Dog on the Islanders. That's it for Night Moves. I want to thank everybody here for putting up with me for the last 2 hours of sports bets, sports betting talk here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. We'll be back tomorrow night with more Night Moves, but don't forget, you can get my best plays and the plays from our cappers every day over at Tony'sPicks.com. When you use the promo code TonyT at checkout, save 15% off those premium pick packages, including mine here on this holiday Monday. Going to be a great day of holiday action here. Let's go on over to Tony'sPicks.com and you'll see why not ride with me here for the next 3 days, including today, by getting the 3-day all sports pass. Get 3 days of my picks for $99 when you go to Tony'sPicks.com. All right, really appreciate it, gang. And make sure you use that promo code TonyT at checkout over there. Really thank everyone. Great job from the chat here tonight. I really enjoyed spending time with everyone here. And I think that is going to do it here for now. Oh, I'm on, sorry, Robot. I'm on Indiana. I'm on Indiana to rock here in this one. And I will have, I think, a premium on the total. So please subscribe over there. Really appreciate that. Cal Dog, thank you. Timmy Two Shoes, thank you as well. And let's see, he says Timmy's on Miami, though. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow with more Night Moves. And for the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.